Hello everybody and welcome back to On the Creek. Today we're going to be making an auxiliary battery box for my boat because I do the majority of my trolling with my bow mounted trolling motor and I want the extra battery storage. You guys are not going to want to miss this, so stay tuned for the video. So the one thing that I really haven't got to yet on my boat is a kicker motor. So I have a smaller boat. I have a 17.5-foot boat, and traditionally you don't see the 9.9 kicker motor pre-mounted on these boats. I don't even know if I'm going to go a kicker motor. I think I'd like to add maybe a 6-horse kicker motor. They're a little bit more affordable, kind of more of a budget option. But for the time being, my electric trolling motor should be fine. A lot of the times when I'm trolling, if I need to troll a little faster, I can use the big motor. It will troll at 2 miles an hour. But if I want to troll less than that, I should be able to accomplish that with my electric trolling motor. Now, I took steps this year to kind of make that a little easier by adding a second battery on the boat. So now I have two 12-volt batteries wired correctly to allow that capacity for the two batteries, but yet it's still at 12 volts. So I've increased my capacity there, but in doing that, I had to have two of the same batteries of the same year and the same make, which left this. Now I thought about maybe selling it, but after a while I thought, well, it'd be really nice to have that auxiliary battery when I'm trolling and I plan on using the electric motor. One, for if I get into trouble, I have an extra battery on the boat that I can use to hook up to the trolling motor and potentially get me back to the dock if I had to. But it could also extend my trolling day because I could maybe start on my 2 bank, and then if I ran out and I was still fishing, I could then hook up that battery and run that battery down. So I started looking at battery boxes for trolling motor batteries, and the one thing that I had found is that the way that they're pre-wired, they have 2 posts to hook up like a loop to, right? And I didn't want posts. I have this style plug on my boat, and because I have that style plug, I needed to have the connection for that style plug. So I couldn't find one. And after looking, I've decided, screw it, I'm just going to make one. So I picked up the things that I need to make my own, and it starts with this. So this is the style plug that my trolling motor takes. So I have one of these. I have the battery, obviously, and I have a battery box. So I just chose an Atwood battery box. Nothing crazy. It has the 2 slots for wires that come out there, right? But there's no plugs, no wiring, no nothing. It's just simply a battery box. And I also bought a trickle charger that we're going to use to charge this battery. So when it's out of the boat and I'm just charging it, it'll sit on the workbench. I want a way to trickle charge it and just maintain it when it's not in use. So I'm going to get set up here, and then we're going to go into making this battery box. So I'm going to set the camera up so you can see my work more than you can probably see me. So let me get set up here, and then we'll pick back up at step 1 for making the battery box. Okay, so we're getting started. The first thing that I have is I have the battery here. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to clean the contacts. This is a used battery, and I do have a little bit of like white crusty buildup on here. So to clean this, I'm going to take those off, and I have my drill with a wire brush, basically a brass brush. And I'm just gonna use the drill to scrub these off real quick and get the corrosion off. So now my terminals are clean, at least cleaner. So the next step is I have the switch, but it comes pre-wired to like connect to your boat. We're going to change that so that it'll hook up to this battery. Okay, to get this to hook up to the battery, to get my port to hook up to the battery, I'm going to take these ends off and I'm going to replace them with these. And it's just basically a ring connector that will allow it to hook up to the battery terminal itself. So it's super simple to do. You just need some wire cutters, right? And I'm going to clip these parts off here, like so. And then I'm going to strip this wire back a little bit. To expose the wire itself. And I just want a little bit exposed. Okay, so now that I have it exposed, I need to put the ring connectors on. So I have my ring connector on, and now I'll crimp it. So I crimp it on there nice and tight, and then I'm going to do the same to the other side. Now that I have both ends crimped on, I need to get a heat gun, and I'm going to shrink down the heat shrink. This is a heat shrink connector to keep it from getting moisture in there. So let me get the heat gun, and I'm going to shrink that down. Now some heat guns have like a little director or something that basically makes the heat more concentrated. I don't have one, but this will work for what we're trying to do. All right, now I have that shrink down, and it's a watertight connection. So the next step is basically I need to put this battery inside the box to make sure everything fits. To be honest, I didn't check it. So let's see here. Inside the box, I've got the strap and the hardware. We're going to put that aside. I don't want to lose my bolts for the battery. And we're going to, let's see here. That's forward, so this is backward. I want those that way. So the battery box has little slits for wires to come out. I want that near the terminals. So I want to make sure that that's right. So then now all we got to do is drop the battery in the box. Oh yeah, it fits nicely. So those batteries are heavy. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I have this battery charger, and I've been using these ends to kind of keep it maintained until I get to basically making this. But for the long term, I'm going to be putting this more permanent end on. So I'm going to start with these, and just basically this black goes to negative, red goes to positive. So there's the first step. And then this will be tied up like this with a zip tie. And it will feed out the end, or out the box. So the next thing is I need to have this figured out here for the next step. And essentially, that's how this goes. I want my port, because there's a strap that goes through the middle, I want my port here. So I need to drill a hole that this can go through and can wire in. So I need to get a drill bit to do that. And what I have is a step bit. So we're going to use a step bit to get the proper sized hole that I need. And we'll pick back up right there. So this is what I'm going to use to drill it. It's just a step bit. It's going to gradually step up the hole size. So I'm going to start slow. I'm going to go until I think this will fit. So that's what we're going to do now. And like I said, I kind of want it here. I thought maybe in the middle, but there's a strap that's going to go on this to keep the lid on. So I'm going to start from the side, and I just want to kind of center it. Make sure your drill bit's tight. Oops! So I'm not there yet. I might be getting a little closer. Definitely closer, but I'm not quite there yet. Getting there. This might be the perfect size, actually. See, I'm going to go slow because I don't want to overshoot the hole, because I need to be able to have some plastic to connect this to once. So, perfect. That's absolutely perfect. So there we go. We have this basically drilled in there. And the next part is I need to basically fix this to this part here. So to do that, I need another drill bit, because I got to drill a hole, and then I'm going to use pop rivets to connect this. These are stainless steel pop rivets. So let me get another drill bit that'll fit. So I'm just picking the appropriate size drill bit. So it's a 530. This is a 5/32. We're going to try this one and see how it goes. I can always make it a little bit wider if I have to. And I want this to be straight in there. I'm going to try and drill this as straight as I possibly can. Because it's soft plastic, it's going to go through fairly easily. So I just need to line this up. And then now I need to pick the appropriate pop rivet for the size that I have. Now, I can always drill that hole up a little bit if I'm a little off. But we're going to see. That's the right one. So let me get my pop rivet gun. So this is the first time that I've ever used pop rivets. So I guess we're going to see how this goes. But I know this goes in like this. And then use the appropriate head, which I actually think I already have in the gun. Yep. So I thought that when you do this, when it's done, it should pop off. I don't know. It didn't do that. Maybe I did something wrong? I don't know. We're gonna cut it off. Okay, so I've got, I don't know, maybe I did that wrong. I've never used pop rivets before. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut those little nubs off. But whenever you're using power tools, safety first, eye protection, and I'm gonna get some ear protection if I can find what I did with it. And I'm gonna use the old angle grinder, so I'm gonna mute this part of the video because it's gonna get loud and it's not gonna be nice. So give me a second. I definitely don't think that was the right way, and I did scuff the plastic a little bit, but it'll work for my purposes. All right, so now we have this mounted, and it's riveted in there, like so. It actually looks pretty decent, other than the little spot where I nicked. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I kind of nicked it with the grinder. So get rid of the plastic shards. So now the next step is going to be attaching the leads for this. Positive and negative, right? And then we're going to be putting the bolts on. Bolts, nuts. Well, no, yeah, it's nut. It's not a bolt, it's a nut. There and there. Oops, that's upside down. Oh man, I'm having a world of trouble. Okay. There we go. Now we're making progress. All right, and I need to tighten these down. So I'll put that strap down. I want this to kind of feed out that way. Get that situated on top there. This goes on there. Now I need the strap to hold it all together. Looks like it came with some hardware. If I wanted to affix it to the boat, it came with some hardware, but I don't really want to do that. I want it to be able to go on and off. But in a different application, I could see where that would be beneficial. I think I want the strap on the top. So now we've got the strap. I kind of wish it was tighter. I'm not a fan of the strap so far. I don't think it's necessarily designed to be super tight, although I almost wish it was like a little ratchet. But we're going to tighten that down a little bit. And there you have it. I have now made a battery, auxiliary battery. It has a case and a handle. I can charge it out the back side with my trickle charger. And I can add this to my boat, put it on the bow when I'm trolling. and have some extra power. Now, I can wire all kinds of things on this. I can get some USB plugs. I could get a cigarette lighter plug. I could get all kinds of different plugs and then add on to this later if I wanted to. So this is where I'm going to start, with just a trolling motor hookup and a place to charge it. And we're going to go from there. So, well guys, we're all done, and I think that's going to conclude today's video. So I hope you learned something from this. I definitely did. I learned that I don't know how to use a pop rivet gun, so there's always that. But hey, I got the job done. I did what I wanted to do, and I still think it looks fairly decent and kind of exactly what I pictured. So I'm very happy with the way it turned out. I may replace this strap. I'm not super happy with this strap. I think it's too loose, and don't let me get it as tight as I would like. I almost want this to be a small ratchet strap. So maybe I'll check out Harbor Freight, or I might even have a ratchet strap that I can modify for this to make it definitely a much snugger, tighter fit. But that's it for today's video, guys. So, you know, I appreciate all the support. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, turn the bell on so you're notified when we post new content. It helps out the channel greatly. And, you know, I'd like to continue to make videos, but I really need the support from you viewers to do that. So it helps my stuff get seen and around and helps me grow. So I appreciate that. And you know what? Just get out there and live, guys. Walleye season is right around the corner. I was on the boat ramp yesterday, and there's a very strong possibility that this boat is going in the water either today or tomorrow. So hopefully there's some fishing content coming up that you guys can watch and enjoy. But for the time being, get out there and live. We'll catch you next time here at On the Creek.
Another catfish.